Thanks. I certainly could do with a rest.
Good luck then. Good morning, Henry. Come on, let's go to the green. Ah.
How's life here in Sasau?
Much the same as in Scarlet's. That is, before everything. It's quieter now. Most of the work has been done, and everyone is waiting to see what the harvest will be like. Then everyone will be on their feet from dawn to dusk.
I pray it'll be a good harvest, so we have supplies for winter and enough to seed in spring.
God's truth. A couple of bad harvests and we'd be in danger of famine. Well, let's hope it will be good. Every grain counts, especially now, with all sorts of bandits roaming the country, and a great army, too.
I hope Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush get it all sorted out before the harvest.
If those marauders carry on, they'll plunder the whole province. And then where will we be?
But the best thing would be to hide the supplies. Bury them underground, so the bandits don't find them.
But what if they threaten the villagers? Most people would be happier to give up their supplies than have their farms burnt down or their livestock herded off.
Livestock can be hidden in the woods. Pa told me about it once.
Maybe. But you can't hide a farmhouse, or whole families. What if they take your children and threaten to cripple them, or the farmers? You can't do much work in the fields with your arms broken. And in the winter, it's even worse. They might as well dig your grave.
Sir Radzig would never allow that to happen, though. He'd come with his garrison, and those bastards who harassed his subjects would soon be hanging from the nearest tree.
I'd be happier, though, if they all moved on and left us in peace.
What if they don't move on, though? Then the only answer is cold steel.
You men and your endless fighting.
How are things with the infirmary? Did they give you a bit more coin at least?
Unfortunately not. They said there'll be no more until St. Havel's Day.
But that's still a long way off.
I know. On St. Havel's Day, the payments come from the surrounding villages and the outlying farms. Some of them are supposed to pay in chickens, eggs, or other things. But a lot pay in groschen. Then they might give us more. Since we're going to the market square, I could buy some meat at the butcher's.
You buy that often? I thought you said you had to save every groschen you can.
That's true, but you wouldn't believe the things those monks think up.
How's that?
You know they're forbidden to eat red meat. It's a sin. Saint Benedict forbade it.
I didn't know that.
Neither did I until recently. But that's not all. The thing is, they have an exception to the rule. They can eat red meat if they're sick, so they recover faster. Then, it's not a sin. So some of them are always coming along with all sorts of ailments. So they can lie around in the infirmary and eat meat. Of course, the monks have precedence, so I have to go to the butcher's. And then, there's not enough money for other things.
Well, you learn something new every day.
I've even heard tell that there was a monk who tried to keep pigs in a pond at one time.
Why on earth would he do that?
To prove they're water creatures. The monks are allowed to eat water creatures, you see. Not only fish, but even beavers and the like.
That's good. I'd never come up with something like that. And how did it end up?
I don't know. Maybe they drowned.
That's good, though. I must remember that one.
Take care. And come home soon. I'll pray for your safe return, as always.
How is
Thanks,
it,
Guta.
being in the
Not
service
to
of
worry,
Sir
I'll be
Radzig?
fine.
Well, it's a
I'll go
wonder he
then.
took me on
But
at
don't
all
die
after I
for
lost
me.
his sword and scanners. But it's great. For someone like me. I lost everything, and he gave me a second chance. And even a new home of sorts, if you know what I mean.
I understand. I'm glad you found your feet with Sir Radzig. That you found your place in the world again, and that...
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll surely find your place too eventually.
I hope so.
Wait. Listen, when she visits you, the Virgin Mary, what does she look like?
Like I said, like that picture above the altar. She just appears in a kind of golden glow, in a blue cloak.
And then?
Then she beckons to me, and things start to appear. Pictures of all kinds. They look like the paintings in church, but moving, glowing with fire and lots of colours and this golden light.
My, that's really something. How is Matthias doing?
No change. He's lying in a fever and nothing helps. I'm really afraid for him.
He'll get better, don't you worry. He's a tough little bugger. No fever is going to beat him.
I hope you're right. Actually, it does look like his fever is dropping a bit, but maybe that's just wishful thinking.
Johanker, what are you actually going to do when we get to the market square?
Actually, I haven't thought about it much. I have to pass on the message from Our Lady to the people. So I'll stand somewhere and tell them what I saw in my dream. Like the itinerant preachers who are always wandering around the land.
I see. And have you ever done anything like that?
No, I haven't. But it can't be all that hard, can it?
I couldn't say. But I'm sure you can do it.
Our Lady will guide me. Right, girl. Time to go and spread the word of the Blessed Virgin. What can I say to those people so they won't laugh at me? And the earth shook. The heavens parted and angels with fiery swords swarmed over the world to punish the sinners. They chopped off their heads and impaled them on spikes as a warning to others. Mother of God, where did that come from? That sounded horrific. I suppose I ought to start with something more peaceful. But that's what comes to me first. Not that there aren't some who deserve to be cut down with fiery swords. Henry, I'm a bit worried. I never spoke to people like that before. I've no idea what to say. They'll all laugh at me.
Don't worry, you can do it. People will swallow anything, believe me. Just start with something that will grab their attention. Like that the Blessed Virgin visited you. That should do it. And once you've got their ears, give them the important part. Nothing could be easier.
Maybe for you. Why don't you do it instead if it's that easy?
I would. Only the Virgin Mary didn't choose me. Remember? Now don't worry about it. People always want to hear something sensational. They'll be hanging on your every word, and I'll be there with you.
All right. Thanks, Henry. Nothing could be easier. Yeah. All right. Here goes. God be with the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary came to me in a dream. And she showed me things I've never seen before. A great city. A great and beautiful city it was. Great and beautiful. With many, many spires. Tall spires. Golden in the sunlight. And around the city was a mighty wall. All this she showed to me. But then the city was suddenly engulfed in flames. The earth began to shake and the gate burst open. Holes opened up in the ground and from them beasts of hell leapt forth. They broke down the walls and stormed the city through the broken gate. And the beasts hunted down all the sinners. They sank their fangs into their burning flesh and tore them to pieces mercilessly. And the sinners screamed and tried to flee them, but it was in vain. But then Our Lady appeared. Mary, the Holy Mother of God. She covered the whole city in her cloak, smothered the flames, and drove out the beasts. The penitent sinners came out of the city, knelt before the Virgin in prayer, and thanked her for their salvation. That is the vision that came to me. And I believe this message was not meant for me alone. It was a warning to us all. We are those sinners, and we must once again build those mighty walls. Not from stone or wood, but from virtue and love for our neighbor. And whoever has sinned and acted unrighteously must repent and change their ways.
Sucker. That lass doesn't hold
Isn't
back.
she that lass?
But there's
who
truth
works for
in what
Brother
she-
Nicodemus?
That was right. She spoke well. I'd like to see those.
Well, it was like a pair of words pillaging the country.
You don't understand half of what he says, but you know it's the truth.
She'll carry on with it.
Who knows?
Send her to us.
I just hope that destruction doesn't descend on us here.
I hope she won't bring that scourge here to us.
That wouldn't be wise. I heard she has something going on with the custodian.
Well, he can't be much of a man then.
If he heard you, he'd have you clapped.
All right, but quickly, I beg you.
It's about my husband, Ambrose, the tailor. He's good to me. He's an honest tradesman and a skilled one. But he keeps playing dice. He sits at that table late into the night, and more than once he lost a small fortune.
I'm sorry to hear that. But I don't know how I could help.
I want him to stop. But he won't listen to me. I'm at a loss what to do. I thought maybe if you were to go and have a word with him...
Oh, all right. I'll come and see you when I have some time to spare.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Oi!
My word, Johanka. That speech of yours on the square. I swear I never heard anything like it in my life.
Let's talk about it later. Right now, Guta, the Sasau tailor's wife, came to talk to me and she was quite desperate. Did you hear?
No, I didn't. What did she want?
She said she's having some trouble with her husband, Ambrose. He's constantly playing dice and she doesn't know how to talk him out of it. She heard me speaking on the square and she thought maybe I could help.
So give her some advice then.
But I don't know what to tell her. Our Lady didn't prepare me for anything like that.
Oh, that's what you wanted, isn't it? Your words didn't fall on deaf ears, and now you can't let people down when they come to you.
I suppose you're right. We ought to try and do something.
We?
Be quiet and think. We have to find a way.
Jesus, you're really full of holy fire.
Stop blaspheming and start thinking how we can get Ambrose to give up his dice playing.
Well, I've always found a good punch in the mouth can do a lot to change a man's mind.
Thanks for that contribution, but I don't think Guta came to me because she wanted her husband crippled.
Yeah, all right. It's what Fritz would do, though.
And that's why I'm asking you, and not Fritz.
Supposing Ambrose were to lose enough to make him regret it. If he were to lose something really important. Mal was used to scold me by saying, one day you'll go too far and then you'll be sorry.
That's it, Henry. Ambrose has to realise for himself how he's harming others, and most of all his wife and himself. Thank you.
Glad to be of help.
But I can't go anywhere. Never mind playing dice in taverns. I've too much work to do. But you could.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Henry. Go and see the tailor's wife and sort it out with her. I have to go back now. Take care. For the love of God! What have you been doing?
My word, Johanka. That speech of yours on the square. I swear I never heard anything like it in my life.
So, what do you think? Was it all right?
I'm at a loss for words. It was great. It sounded almost like it wasn't you at all. I never expected you'd say such things. Flames, a golden city, beasts of hell. It was awe-inspiring. You even put the fear of God into me. I heaved a sigh of relief when the Virgin Mary came and everything ended well. It was the best sermon I ever heard. I mean it.
Oh, thank you, Henry. I don't even know how I did it. I just opened my mouth and the words came by themselves. What about other people? What did they say?
I'd say they liked it. Everyone was quite spellbound.
Oh, that's a good thing, isn't it? And do you think it made sense? That it was clear what I wanted to say?
Oh yes, clear as day. It was a warning about our sinfulness. If we're virtuous, Our Lady will protect us against the demons.
Yes, that's what I think her message was. Thank you, Henry. I'm glad you were there with me.
So am I. I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Take care. For the love of God.
You know, I could get you some potion to help calm you down so you can sleep.
Thanks. But there's no point in it. Brother Nicodemus already tried and it didn't help.
Oh, I see. I brought you something.
That's sweet of you. What is it?
I've got a bit of spare coin, and I was thinking maybe you could use it.
We certainly could. That would be a great help.
I'd like to give you 360 groschen.
Thanks, Henry. You're an angel.
I brought you something.
That's sweet of you. What is it?
I've got quite a bit of meat. More than I can eat myself. I thought you might be able to use it.
Thank you so much. This will help us a lot. We've barely got enough to eat, you know?
Glad to be of help.
Take care.